considered a terrorist.
Right.
Because we are an evil doer.
Right.
Because we say something against the government. And I'll give you a prime good example. I went to a county board meeting a month ago, and we're trying to get a permit so we can open up a food pantry.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the problem is these, what I'm going to name them as radicalists, these people who have bamboozled this area into thinking that they're doing such wonders, tell me that my permit is not submissible and all this other stuff, and that we're going to cause all kinds of noise and everything else. So then I bring up the fact that we have a bar behind us, and they're out till 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, and I had addressed the board, these commissioners, and had told them that this is a problem. Mm. So who's right, who's wrong here?
Right.
The sheriff gets out of his chair, does not address the board, the people that were handling the meeting, these so-called commissioners, and addresses me directly, and approaches me, and gets into my face, tells me that this is an issue in his office, and shouldn't be brought up in a board meeting. Well, you know, I have the legal right as a citizen to stand up and say something, but what happens when the government gets questioned? They push back with their power. So what do? I push back even harder. They want to kill me for basically stating something that I believe in isn't right. That's what they do. So I got this sheriff in my face, pointing to his badge on his shirt that I am the law, like Judge Dredd saying that I am the law, and he's telling me how he runs everything and everything else. So in our state, we have procedures that handle things. Ever since 9/11, they've removed a lot of the checks and balances out of our country.
Yep.
Who can you go to when you have problems with somebody else? Well, the sheriff is an elected official. He can only be terminated by the governor. Mm-hmm. That's the only person that can terminate him. But he's standing in front of his constituents, which is the county board, and that seat holds his purse strings. And he's pushing people that are residents that live in the county. So this is the problem with our country today, is that when people try to stand up and they try to say what they have, and these Baltimore riots, you know, I do not go along with their so-called rioting that they do. There are other ways to handle it. But the problem is it's like going to the hen house and the fox answers the door, and you ask the fox how the hens are doing. You kind of get the picture?
Yeah.
You know, there's no oversight here. There's no, now this sheriff is under investigation.
Oh, good.
Which is good. But when the investigation is done, which probably nothing is going to be done, I'm going to take all that information that they gathered through their oversight committee, and I'm going to sue the county. And this is the reason why the government gets sued all the time. Right. Instead of seeing the problem and putting it forth like it should be, they cover it up. And this is where you get what's so-called conspiracy theories. Mm-hmm. But you know, Mark, there's a lot of these theories that happen to be a lot of truth to it. Why do people say what they say? There has to be some kind of truth with the conspiracy theory. Whether it would be the assassination of Kennedy, or it would be the scandal of Watergate, whether it would be, you know, when, and people forget, they tend to have a real short memory when it comes to a lot of this stuff. And these presidents, what they do is they wag the dog. And they, when things are on them with a scandal, they go to war. So that the people got their mind on something different now. And I see that happens in court a lot. And that's what they do. good example. The book I wrote, At the Mercy of the State. You know, here I was accused of child abuse.
Wow.
And we're in court, and I have photographs, evidence, statements, doctor's reports that my children are being abused, and not only abused, but sexually abused.
God.
I have all this. I have the evidence. I bring it forth with the judge and tell him that, hey, you think I'm a bad guy? Look what you guys are doing. The prosecutor wagged the door.
Yeah.
He accuses me of being a child molester. All of a sudden now, I went from having evidence against them to being the perpetrator myself. So all of a sudden, everything that I had on them went away. And she persuaded the judge. Now, granted, the original case was over child spanking.